What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the FF Face Off YouTube channel. I'm your host, Anthony Cervino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at the FF Face Off. We can be found at all the top social media and podcast platforms. Today, we're going to take a look at my 2023 NFL First Round Mock Draft version 1.0. Free agency, meaning the next mock draft, the follow-up mock draft is going to look a lot different. But if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, the alert icon, so you can be notified anytime we drop content just like this, or go live to answer your questions. Let's get right into the mock draft. We're going to start with pick number 1. Now, the obvious trade that I did make is the Chicago Bears moving back to pick number 4. The Indianapolis Colts are the team that I believe move up to the first overall pick, and they select quarterback. C.J. Stroud, I believe it's going to be C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young, because Bryce Young does not fit the prototypical quarterback that general manager Chris Ballard normally targets. He's a little bit undersized. Now, Stroud isn't exactly a towering presence like Andrew Luck, Carson Wentz, or Phillip Rivers, but at 6'3", 218, he's still a little bit bigger than Bryce Young, who is listed at 6 feet tall, 194 pounds. Pick number 2, the Houston Texans get their guy. They're the team that drafts Bryce Young. New head coach DeMeco Ryans may be a defensive guru, but he knows what it takes to win in the NFL. Davis Mills is not the guy. Despite his size, Young won the Heisman Trophy in 2021. He's a dual-threat quarterback with terrific leadership qualities. As long as his durability does not become an issue, he will be the answer to Houston's franchise quarterback questions for years to come. Pick number 3, the Arizona Cardinals. With the losses of both Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt in consecutive off seasons, the Cardinals have an immense void at pass rusher, an all-purpose defender who recorded 35.5 sacks, 62 tackles for a loss in 41 collegiate games. Will be the answer to their problems. That guy is Will Anderson. He's going to help turn around an Arizona Cardinals defense that only recorded 36 sacks last season. New head coach Jonathan Gannon was the Eagles' DC last season. His defense led the NFL with 70 sacks, 15 more than the next best team. A player like Anderson's just the type of guy that Gannon needs to build his defense around. Pick number 4, Jalen Carter. Listen, I know Jalen Carter got a little bit jammed up, but number 1, we live in a world where the off-the-field issues of Deshaun Watson didn't really matter. He still got a 5-year guaranteed contract worth $250 million. I don't think a misdemeanor warrant for racing for Jalen Carter is going to cause him to fall like other people do. Whether that's right or wrong, I just don't think that's the case. Plus, this issue for Jalen Carter happened before he even got into the NFL. He may not even face a suspension from the league. Jalen Carter 4 to the Bears. Now, the Bears move back, still get one of the top 2 defenders in the NFL draft, head coach Matt Eberflus. He's another defensive guru who understands the importance of having a stud in his front 7. Carter fits that bill for a Bears defense that ranked dead last in points per game and in sacks last season. Carter is a disruptive force against the run and against the pass. He will anchor Eberflus's defense for years to come. 5, Seattle Seahawks from the Broncos, from the Russell Wilson trade. Listen, the Seahawks defense recorded the 7th most sacks last season with 45, but adding a guy like Tyree Wilson is the way to go. Puna Ford is set to hit the open market. Bruce Irvin isn't getting any younger. There's a good chance both of them do not come back, which opens a void at pass rusher. Tyree Wilson fills the gap. Number 6, Detroit Lions. Listen, this Lions defense did get better as the year went on last season, but it still needs a lot of help, especially on the back end. They're going to get that help by drafting Christian Gonzalez. Now, Detroit's secondary. third most passing yards per game last season. Christian Gonzalez is going to solve a lot of those issues. Now, it was the old regime, but the Lions did select Jeffrey Okudah, third overall in 2020. I think Brad Holmes attacks the position once again at number 6. Seventh pick, Las Vegas Raiders. Now, they could go quarterback here, but all signs point to this team targeting Aaron Rodgers via trade or Jimmy Garoppolo on the open free agent market. I know the Raiders said, hey, we're out on Rodgers. I just don't believe him. And even if it's not Rodgers, Jimmy Garoppolo going back to Josh McDaniels makes a lot of sense. Now, the Raiders' offensive line exceeded expectations last season, but an upgrade like Paris Johnson Jr. is going to be the move to make. He played left tackle and right guard at Ohio State. He's versatile. With Colton Miller excelling on the left side for the Raiders, Johnson's going to be a plug-and-play starter somewhere on the right side. I absolutely love this Paris Johnson Jr. move for the Raiders. The Falcons at number 8, Myles Murphy makes all the sense in the world. Why? Well, he's going to be an immediate upgrade to a Falcons pass rush that ended last season second to last in sacks. They only had 21. They were also dead last in that category in the past 2 seasons combined with a total of 39. Myles Murphy has size, power, and quickness. He checks off all the right boxes to wreak havoc at the next level. Number 9, the Carolina Panthers. They are the next team to draft a quarterback, and that quarterback's going to be Will Levi. The Panthers are done kicking the tires on retread starting quarterbacks like Bridgewater, Baker Mayfield, and Sam Darnold. They're going to get Will Levi in an attempt to put an end to the team's perennial quarterback woes since Cam Newton. New head coach Frank Reich is going to develop Levi, who fits the mold of the prototypical NFL quarterback when it comes to size, mobility, arm strength, and intangibles. Pick number 10, the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a pick they got from the Saints, and this is a pick that I believe they're going to address a defensive need. The Eagles are coming off of a Super Bowl appearance, and they're going to pay that price in free agency. They have in excess of 14 notable players set to hit the open market, at least 9 of those players on the defensive side of the football. James Bradbury and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson are 2 of them. They're likely going to let Bradbury walk and tag Gardner-Johnson, leaving a void at cornerback. Getting a rookie on a rookie deal would be the ideal move. Why? Because they have to pay Jalen Hurts, and Darius Slay's contract is set to expire in 2024. I love the Eagles to target Devon Witherspoon out of Illinois. Number 11, the Tennessee Titans. They released Taylor Lewan. They need help on the offensive line, notably at the tackle spot. Peter Skoronski fills that void. He's going to be the long-term answer for a team that is built from the inside out. Now, although Skoronski lacks arm length, he checks off the rest of the boxes when it comes to playing as a high-level offensive lineman in the NFL. A 3-year starter at left tackle for Northwestern, Skoronski also has the versatility to play any position along the offensive front, which enhances his value in the NFL. Number 12, the Houston Texans. Now, the Texans got their quarterback of the future, so it only makes sense that they pair him with a franchise wide receiver. Now, this year's wide receiver class may not be as talented as last season's group, but it does have some juice. I can see the Houston Texans targeting Jackson Smith-Njigba as the first wideout off the board. Now, he doesn't have top-end speed, but he's an outstanding route runner who can create separation to get open. He also has exceptional ball skills. With Brandon Cooks expected to be traded, Smith-Njigba could immediately start in 2 wide sets with John Mechie, assuming he's ready to go after sitting out for his entire rookie campaign. Pick 13, the New York Jets. They have some positives along their offensive line, but left tackle remains a question due to Mekhi Becton's weight and injury issues. Since Dwayne Brown, the fill-in, is 38, he's not getting any younger, and George Fant is entering free agency, Getting a left tackle is a no-brainer with this pick. I can see the Jets going after Broderick Jones out of Georgia. Now, Jones needs some work. He's a little bit inexperienced and undersized, but he has the strength, athleticism, and aggressiveness to succeed in the NFL. At pick 14, the Patriots do Patriots things. They're going to draft North Dakota State Cody Mauch. Why? Well, Cody Mauch excelled at the Senior Bowl as a player who can play at any position along the offensive line. He is flying up draft boards. With both Isaiah Wynn and Marcus Cannon set to hit the open market, the Patriots have a need for a versatile lineman. Pick number 15, the Green Bay Packers. Listen, Bobby Tonyan, Allen Lazard, they're both free agents. And let's face it, the Packers have been late at pass catcher for years. Whether it's Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers under center for Green Bay, they'll need a top-end talent to throw to. Dalton Kincaid fits the bill. Now, Kincaid may not be the blocking asset that Michael Mayer is, but he's going to make up for it with his pass-catching prowess. Kincaid's a big body with a basketball background who can beat you from anywhere on the field. 16, the Commanders. They're the next team to get a quarterback. Like the Colts and the Panthers, the Commanders are done playing around with recycled NFL starting quarterbacks. They, too, will attempt to find their franchise quarterback in this draft class. And the guy they end up with could be the best quarterback in this class. Anthony Richardson could be that guy. Richardson's a dual threat with outstanding size who can make noise at the pro level if everything works. The Commanders may like Sam Howell, but it would be wise for this team to take another quarterback so these two guys can compete and hope one of them hits. It helps that Sam Howell only cost the Commanders a 5th-round pick in last year's draft class as well. I love Anthony Richardson to the Commanders at pick 16. Pick number 17, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go after Joey Porter Jr. Now, the fact that Joey Porter Jr. is the son of former Steelers Super Bowl winning linebacker Joey Porter makes this union a popular pick in a lot of mock drafts. However, Porter is more than just an organizational nepotism pick. The Penn State product brings exceptional size, speed, and physicality to the table for a team that uncharacteristically struggled on the back end of their defense in 2022. Cameron Sutton is also a free agent, which opens up a greater need for the Steelers to add a corner. Pick number 18 is the Detroit Lions once again. Now, this team addressed a major defensive need earlier. Now they're going to attack a need on the offensive side of the ball. Although Detroit's offense was one of the best in the NFL last season, they did trade TJ Hawkinson at the deadline, leaving a hole at tight end. Michael Mayer is a dual threat who can thrive as a pass catcher and in blocking situations. He can also line up all over the formation. He's often comped to Ravens tight end Mark Andrews. I love the addition of Mayer to this high-flying Lions offense. Pick number 19, Tampa Bay. I believe they go after a versatile defensive back like Brian Branch. Now, Tampa Bay, a lot of defenders on expiring contracts. They don't have a lot of cap room. They're in a pseudo rebuild, and Brian Branch is the type of versatile defender in the secondary who can play anywhere and do anything you need him to do. He can cover, tackle, and blitz. With Jamel Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting set to hit the open market, the Bucs will look to upgrade and get younger in the secondary. Pick number 20, Seattle's up again, and I think they go after interior lineman Kalijah Kancey. Kancey could go anywhere in the first round due to his quickness and overall strength, but he's a little bit undersized, which could cause him to fall to Seattle, which would be a gift. Seattle took edge rusher Tyree Wilson 5th overall, but I think the addition of Kancey could make their front seven dominant, taking a page out of the 49ers' book of success in recent years, beefing up that front seven took the 49ers to repeated NFC title games, Seattle can look to take the same blueprint to the top. Number 21, the Los Angeles Chargers. Listen, they could release Keenan Allen for cap reasons. I know that they said they're not doing it, but anything could happen. And although Allen is still a terrific receiver, injuries did catch up to him in 2022. With new OC Kellen Moore in place, the Chargers could look to get younger at wide receiver while adding a younger weapon for Justin Herbert. Jordan Addison is that guy. Jordan Addison may not have the size, but he has exceptional speed, ball skills, and the route running ability to be a monster in the NFL, especially in an offense led by Justin Herbert. The Chargers don't have a lot of needs. They have one of the best rosters in the NFL, so they can afford to make a luxury pick at wide receiver. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this is a team with a big-time need at wide receiver. Whoever their quarterback is, whether it's Lamar Jackson or somebody else, they need to bring in pass catchers. This is a Ravens team that is expected to shift into a more pass-centric offense with new OC Todd Monken. It only makes sense that the Ravens add a wide receiver as their top priority. Zay Flowers, 5'10", $170. Profiles as an inside wide receiver in the NFL with his speed, separation, and elusiveness. He could immediately make an impact for the Ravens in 3 wide sets. Number 23, the Minnesota Vikings. I think they go after edge rusher Keon White out of Georgia. Now, the Vikings need a lot of help. No matter where you look on their defensive side of the ball, they need a piece. But Keon White, the best edge on the board, will help this team immensely. The Vikings last season, they were a 13-win team despite being a bottom 3 unit in defensive scoring. That win total cannot and will not be sustained unless they get better on defense, especially their ability to rush the passer. White can be deployed on the edge. He can also be deployed as an inside pass rusher in new defensive coordinator Brian Flores' system. Pick 24, my Jacksonville Jaguars. Listen, this team took a lot of great steps forward last season, but they had one liability, defensive back. They go after South Carolina cornerback Cam Smith. Cam Smith has a high football IQ and showed terrific instincts and coverage. He managed 6 career interceptions in his SEC for South Carolina. He will immensely help a Jaguar secondary that, once again, was their handicap in an otherwise outstanding 2022 season. Pick number 25, the New York Football Giants. They need a wide receiver just as much as the Ravens. And they're going to get it. Quentin Johnson will be that guy out of TCU. Quentin Johnson will provide a terrific combination of size and speed to a Giants wide receiver room that lacks overall talent. He can also stretch the field for an offense that did not hit on many big plays in the passing game. With the Giants likely paying both Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, it would be wise for GM Joe Schoen to draft a wide receiver rather than overpay for one like Jacoby Myers and a subpar free agent class. Number 26, my Dallas Cowboys. Listen, the Cowboys have some decisions to make at running back. They could franchise tag and or pay Tony Pollard coming off the ankle. They could retain Zeke at a team-friendly rate, or they can draft their next Ezekiel Elliott, and I think that's the move to make. I think the Dallas Cowboys draft my guy Bijan Robinson. Mike McCarthy just came out and said it. We want to be a running football team. We're going to continue to run the football. Why not draft Bijan Robinson to be that guy to lead your rushing attack for the next couple of years? The smart move would be to draft Robinson. He's the best rusher off the board. Having your starting running back on a rookie deal would be an added luxury for a Cowboys team that also needs more wide receiver help. They also have Dalton Schultz on an expiring contract. Go get your running back on a rookie deal rather than paying Pollard coming off of an ankle. Number 27, the Buffalo Bills. Roger Saffold is almost 35, and he's about to hit the open market. Plus, Buffalo's offensive line is erratic at best, despite flashing at times. This team's top priority should be protecting Josh Allen, who we've seen pressured and on the ground a lot last season. They're going to fill that interior offensive line need with Florida lineman Osiris Torrance. He's a tenacious run blocker who can more than hold his own in pass protection. Getting younger and more cap-friendly at guard would be the move to make for a Bills team that should pursue a legit passing upgrade via trade or in free agency. Next up, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals have 3 starting defensive backs about to hit free agency, but I do think they're going to look ahead to the 2024 free agent class, which includes DJ Reader, Trey Hendrickson, Joe Burrow, amongst others. They're going to have to pay a lot of guys, especially in 2024. So what do? They're going to look ahead. They're going to go draft edge rusher out of Iowa, Lucas Van Ness. Because if they hit on Lucas Van Ness, then they may not have to pay Trey Hendrickson. They can let Hendrickson walk next season, and they have Lucas Van Ness, an edge rusher, entering his second year in the league in 2024. Pick number 29, the New Orleans Saints. This is a pick that bounced around from a lot of teams. It was the 49ers, it was the Broncos, it was the Dolphins. Now the Saints have it. The Saints have a lot of needs, and cornerback is one of them. Head coach Dennis Allen, he's a defensive guy. Making his defense the team's strength should be his top priority. Plus, Bradley Roby and P.J. Williams are both free agents. Adding a young and physical corner with excellent size and speed would be the move to make for a rebuilding Saints team. Kelly Ringo out of Georgia is the pick. Pick number 30, Philadelphia Eagles. Considering the number of players about to hit the open market on the front and the back end of that defense, the Eagles need to double down on that side of the football with both of their first-round picks. I think they go after Derek Hall, the edge rusher out of Auburn. Hall is an exceptional athlete who can play linebacker and rush the passer. He may be a little bit of a liability against the run, but the overall upside is there. Rounding out the first round, the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. Left tackle, Orlando Brown, played last year on the franchise tag. They're going to have to tag him or pay him now. Also, right side starting tackle, Andrew Wiley, is also expected to leave via free agency. It makes a lot of sense for the Chiefs to pay Brown, let Wiley walk, and draft Wiley's replacement in Anton Harrison, the offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. Anton Harrison needs to sharpen his overall technique, but he only conceded 1 sack, 0 quarterback hits, and 8 hurries last season at left tackle for the Sooners. He's one of the best pass protectors in the draft, and protecting Patrick Mahomes is a priority for the Kansas City Chiefs, especially if they were going to continue a potential dynasty run. Guys, this was an outstanding mock draft. After the first and second waves of free agency, I'm going to come back with my second mock draft with updated team needs. This was great. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to like the video, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Until next time, this is the FF Face-Off. If you want to win, you have to tune in. We'll see you later.